Welcome back to the Dax and Randy Show, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. You're coming up next. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Dax and Randy Show. I'm your host, Dax. Excited as always to have y'all back here with us for another episode of the number one podcast out there for going through the ups and downs of life, the good and the bad times. And we help you get through all of that. All right. So thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting us. We got a lot to talk about today. A lot's been going on. But before we get into any of that, I got to always allow my beautiful, amazing, you know what I'm saying, perfectly fitted for me co-host introduce herself. What's up?
I like that. Perfectly fitted for you.
Yeah.
Not perfect. Perfectly fitted for you. Hi, everyone. I'm Randi, the co-host of the Dax and Randy Show.
What's up, babe? How's everything?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm there. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Life has been lifing. There's been some good times, some bad times. There's been a lot going on. Yeah. And we got to jump into all of it. But before we do that, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors that allows for this podcast and every episode of this podcast to be broadcasted. Shout out to our sponsors, Basden Accountant LLC. All right. If you want to get your taxes done, individual, business. If you have a business and you want to make sure that your accounting is right, you want to make sure that you have strong financial advisors. What are you doing with your money? Are you making the right decisions for taxes? Are you putting yourself on payroll if you need to be on payroll? Are you actually making money? Like, you need to have a good accountant, a strong financial advisor. I recommend that you reach out to Basden Accounting today. All right. You can find them on Instagram at Basden Accounting, their website, www.basdenaccounting.com. They will look through your books with that fine tooth comb that's needed to make sure everything is right, but then also help you plan for the future so your business could be profitable and successful. So if you don't got a good accountant, if you don't have a financial advisor and you're in business, you're steps behind. Reach out to Basden Accounting today. All right. Anyway, what's up, man?
That was really good.
Appreciate that. Mm-hmm. I don't do it as sensual as you. You know what I'm saying? I keep mine on the business. I know. But you know, when you do it, you got a little soft touch and when like the Twilight Zone, I just get straight to business. You know what I mean? But what's up, babe? You look beautiful.
Thank
you. You know what I mean? You got on your burnt orange shirt and the orange chair with the red socks and the earth tone. You know what I mean?
These
Makeup.
are my Pilates socks.
Yeah, Pilates. Oh, yeah, how Pilates go this morning?
Oh, my goodness. So today was my first real class. About 2 weeks ago, I took an intro class because my goal is to strengthen my body and stretch and just to feel better and hit the places that I normally can't hit just by doing cardio and lifting weights and stuff. I want to be more limber. So I signed up to do 4 classes a month. So that's once a week. And I go at 7 a.m. on Saturdays. So today was my first day. And it started off great. I'm doing I don't even know what the moves are called, but we warming up. And then all of a sudden, I started cramping up so bad. And it's because I had just came on my cycle. And I have really bad cramps sometimes. And then this morning, it just really kicked in. And I stopped probably 5 minutes. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I cannot finish this class. I have the worst cramps. I really have to go. And then I walked out the door in pain, hunched over because they hurt so bad.
I'm sorry, baby.
So
I know you was looking forward to your class. You know what I'm saying?
I got up early, set my alarm clock, showered.
Yeah.
I like to shower before I work out.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I do.
What about afterwards? That's the important part. What about afterwards? You know what I'm saying?
It depends. Like if I come home from the gym and I have things to do, like laundry or cleaning up, I will shower after I'm done the tasks. So if I have physical tasks, I'm not hopping in the shower right after. Yeah. Don't be putting me out there like that.
I just asked a question. You did it.
What about you?
What about me? I work out. Is that what you're asking me?
Well, you normally shower right after.
Yeah. I may have not showered before.
Yeah.
It's possible. You know what I'm saying? But what else is going on? Like, we're going through the good and bad times of life. You know what I mean? We had a mix of both this week. A real good time that we have. So y'all out there, sometimes it's the simple things that in life that matter, right? And one of those things could be stumbling across a new restaurant, a new place to eat that you like. You know what I'm saying? We all, for the most part, love food. Good food always makes you feel good. And when you go to a restaurant and they don't give you that good experience, maybe the food's not good, the service ain't right, it ain't a good feeling leaving out of there. But if you find something new that you ain't tried before, and it actually ends up being really, really good food and good service, that's a boost. You know what I'm saying? We had that last night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We was able to get up with some friends that we ain't hung out with for a while.
Yeah.
You know,
well, we hung out with them on New Year's Eve.
You know what? I was so much like focusing on the kids and everything. Like it didn't.
Yeah.
It was just us four, no
it was
kids.
Just us four. Yeah, we had went
So
to their
that's the
house. They had a New
difference.
Year's Eve party.
Yeah, but us chilling as a four, you know what I mean? It's been a little while of us no kids just catching up, talking or whatever, you know. So anyway, we went to the restaurant. What's the name of the restaurant? We can give them a plug real quick because they were real good.
The Farmhouse.
The Farmhouse, right? The Farmhouse. All right. If you're in the DMV area, look them up. The Farmhouse, and if not, look them up anyway. And then Gambrills, Maryland, look them up anyway because we went there for the first time, and when we got there, it was so many people that me and Randy sat at the bar and we had a drink, and she got like a soup, and we were just buying a little time till our friends got there. But the thing is, it's four of us, and there weren't nowhere to sit. That's hilarious. There was nowhere to sit, right? So then when our friends came, we was kind of looking like, well, we're going to have to move to another restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Because it's too busy in here and they didn't have a table for us.
Yeah, we didn't have reservations. So they put us on the wait list for a high table in the bar area.
Exactly. And the high table was small. So even when it opened up, it weren't going to be a good experience for us because it was too small of a table. So anyway, we're about to leave, and I let the hostess know, like, you know, hey, well, we don't need the high table or whatever. We're going to go somewhere else because it's really busy. And she was like, oh, no. We got a table in the back that's open for you. You know what I'm saying? So we went to the back, sat down, and I think we proceeded to have a really, really amazing experience. You know what I mean? Really, really good drinks. Your food was real good, like homemade pasta. You could tell the difference when the pasta's homemade. You know what I'm saying? I got pizza, but it was amazing pizza. Yeah. What about the cornbread? Randy was hitting up the cornbread.
It was good.
What was good about it?
It wasn't too sweet. And then they had like this maple syrup honey.
Yeah. I weren't sure about it, but it was wild.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. It didn't have a whole bunch of corn in it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it was good. And I normally like sweet, but the honey or maple syrup, whatever that combination was that you pour on top of it made it sweet.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And
I just had some for breakfast too.
Did you?
I poured honey on top of it.
Oh, that's what's up. Did it taste good?
Yep.
All right.
I'm like, oh, this heats up well.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, we had a good time talking with our friends and, you know, catching up on their life and work and, you know, just everything, has some laughs and all that, and just the simple stuff. And then I don't know, was there maybe 2 hours or something like that? And it was just a nice little break to get out. And now we got another spot that we can consider when we want to go out to eat. You know what I mean?
And did you notice I didn't drink?
I did notice. Hey, so Randy, I was trying to do a little bit of, I don't want to say peer pressure, but I think she felt pressure. But I had 2 drinks and I felt my drink. I ain't gonna lie. But Randy kept saying, Randy had made a commitment that she was going to have a dry January. And here it is, like the last moment in the month, and I'm having a drink, my friend's having a drink, and we're trying to like, Randy, you want a drink? You want a drink? She's like, no, I'm going to have a dry January next time or whatever. But she was diligent to her sacrifice. You know what I mean? Was that hard for you?
No.
Why not? I'm surprised. I thought you was going to have a little sip or something.
No, it wasn't, because I had come so far. And I wouldn't want to be like, oh, I almost had a dry January. It was just that last day. Then you can't call your January dry.
True. But I was proud of you, though, because that decision you made, I mean, if you would have had a sip of it, it ain't no big deal. But it's all about how strong do you believe in your commitments? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now you're going to keep your word and make the sacrifice. It ain't going to be easy. And sometimes we say we're going to do something and then we just deviate a little bit. And we're like, wow. If I just do a little bit, it's not a big deal. But no, because you're creating behaviors where you don't stick to your goal. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always okay to deviate a little bit.
Yeah. But I've been praying for self-discipline. So I'm glad in that moment I didn't even feel weak. I was just like, no, I must do what I said I was going to do for that particular thing. Now, there's other areas in my life where it doesn't come so easy.
Right, yeah.
And I see that there's a little alcohol in the fridge.
Right.
So I see it. And y'all, it's not like I'm an actual drinker.
It's not that.
Like,
You're definitely not.
I'm definitely not. But I might, if there's some wine in here, I might partake here and there.
Yeah. Especially if it's Taylor pour.
Yeah. I do like that because it's sweet and strong. But honestly, I've been like with all the changes that's going on in my body, I'm more conscious of what I'm putting in my body. And I'm not sure, but sometimes I feel like when I drink alcohol, no matter how small, I feel like I feel something in my abdomen.
Really?
So I don't know.
I wonder if you'll slowly stop drinking. You know what I mean? And it really be like an occasional thing, because I think even though you only did it for a month, what might end up happening is you're gonna start seeing like, I don't really need it. I'm enjoying myself without it. And especially if you're getting any little bit of pain drinking it, you know what I'm saying? Like, it may just not have the attraction that it used to sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't know if the pain is actually from drinking.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I feel like I don't really drink enough.
But the way you be analyzing and tripping and paranoia, Randi be queen of paranoia. So, you know what I mean? She be like, oh, I think something's wrong. I'm serious. You're not taking me serious. I need you to listen to me. Like, Randi queen of paranoia from the first day. It's so good. Yeah. But it's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you worry and
I
you
think I've gotten more paranoid since I've been with you.
That ain't got nothing to do with me. Don't even try to bring me into this. This ain't got nothing to do with me.
I've been more aware.
Okay, if you think so.
If I feel something, I'm going to the doctor. Before I'd be like, I'll be all right. Nah, with you, let me go to the doctor, get myself checked out, make sure I'm fine.
Well, I'm over, exactly. I like to research, you know what I'm saying? I go to research. I remember the one time I went to the hospital and I think they said something about like, what was a hemorrhoid or something that might have been. And I was like, I just want to make sure it's just that. Let me go get a colonoscopy. So I'm
sitting up here like,
she was just like, no, it's an external thing. Everything's cool. And I'm like, all right, well, the only way that I could know for sure is I'm going to go get a colonoscopy. You know what I'm saying? So like 10 years before I'm scheduled to get one.
You did it.
I did it. Stupid. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I do have something to do with your paranoia. Anyway, I'm not going to claim that. It's all good.
It's all good.
But
we thankful for our health.
I'm telling you, now with that transitioning health, they say health is wealth, but like health is very important. And y'all that's listening to us, as you go through life and you go through good and bad times, you got to be taking care of yourself. Your health is important. And it's little minor things that are very, very vital that I know that I was slipping up for a little while, like going to the doctor every year to make sure everything's straight. Especially, man, you guys have got to do that. When you get into your 30s and 40s, it's even more important. Go to the doctor. There's nothing wrong. I know it's a fear as to what they're going to tell you, but you always got to look at it like, what if I didn't know? Something's going on and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But go to the doctor, do your annual physical, take your vitamins, exercise. Like, all of this stuff is important. Get checked up every year. That's why you got an annual. You know what I'm saying? Go to the dentist. Sometimes, and take it from me, because I got fired from my dentist. I don't know what episode we talked about that.
I don't think we ever talked about it.
I never talked about getting fired from the dentist?
No, I think we talked about talking about it. I think I still got the letter. Hold on.
Hey, so look. Go ahead. Give it to Randi. I got fired from the dentist. Go ahead. What happened? What's the date?
Dear Mr. Basden, this is March 23rd, 2023. You asked for the date.
Yeah.
From the very first appointment, we try to establish open lines of communication with our patient. The purpose is twofold. We understand you, you understand us. With mutual understanding in place, we can work cooperatively toward the same goal, sustained dental health. Your history of canceling appointments indicates we have not achieved this working relationship, in spite of our office's best effort. Your enthusiasm for good dental care seems to stop short when it comes to the appointed hour for treatment.
Damn! Oh.
We will be available for your emergency care for the next 30 days. If you need the names of the other dentists in the area, we'd be happy to refer you. Please let us know where you would like us to send your records. Sincerely, and then the dentist signs that.
You know, there's so much to unpack in that. Hey, hold up. Brandon, it's so much to unpack. First of all, A1 professionalism, you know what I'm saying? The way that they worded everything, the way they communicated it, but it's something in there that's bothering me that they said, which is my passion for sustained dental care. What did they say? That it ends. What did they say? Read that part again. Because that hurts. That means I'm talking a good game. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. Read that again.
Your enthusiasm for good dental care seems to stop short when it comes to the appointed hour for treatment.
They didn't have to put that in there, did they? But you know what? Like my son said, my son told me the other day, you said this, Daddy. It's not mean if it's true. So what is it? Think about it. I go to the dentist and I'm like, hey, I want to, and y'all could relate this. Might not be about the dentist, but something else in your life. You go and you're like, hey, I want to be better. I'm going to go, I care about this. I want to make sure my teeth is good. You're talking a good game. And then all of a sudden they schedule an appointment 3 months later for you to come back and you don't show. So what does that mean?
Yeah. And how long you been going to this dentist?
Since I was in high school.
He was hot.
Hey, so but hey, check this out. Check this out though. Check this out. I actually had called the dentist. I didn't even know we was gonna, I thought we'd talk about this. I was gonna go, I called the dentist. So listen, y'all, let me piece this together, right? I've been going to this dentist for decades, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes when you've been slipping up in your life, you know it. So you ain't been accountable to things. You ain't been keeping your word. You ain't been showing up for appointments. You ain't been doing what you said you was gonna do. But then you get that urge to be better. And you're like, oh, I'm going to go do it today. That's what happened with me. I'm sitting there at work and I'm like, I ain't had my teeth cleaned for a while. Let me go be proactive. So I called the dentist. I hadn't even gotten this letter.
They sent it. I
don't know where it was, but we hadn't.
In the trash.
Right. We hadn't gotten it. So I called the dentist, right? And I'm like, oh, I want to get back serious with my teeth and da 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 da. Can I schedule? And she was like, no, we can't serve you anymore. I said, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, we won't serve you anymore, but we could give you, dentists in the area. And so I'm like, what in the world is going on? She starts telling me like too many cancels appointments, the behavior that I was showing, and it's just best for them to move forward without me as a client. This is the dentist, yo. How you get fired from the dentist? They don't even want my money. They just don't want to deal with me no more. And that just says a lot because it's not like the money ain't something that they would need. They a business, but they tired of me costing them money because I don't show. They tired of the inconsistency. They tired of the impact that I'm having by saying I'm going to do something and I don't do it. That's really
And they also wrote off your balance.
And right, they didn't even want the money that I owed them. Dang. They was like, they didn't even send me the collections. That shows that they care though.
Yeah. I didn't, now just to say, I didn't know that you owed them anything.
Neither did I. Neither did I. But that's okay. But here's the thing. Sometimes you just be tired. And they just, and maybe you got somebody in your life or you're at a job or whatever, but you just be tired of being mistreated. And at the end of the day, if you're in a relationship, sometimes you might be with somebody and you got all these valuables together and you be so tired of the relationship that you be like, bye. And they could take the couch, they could take the TV, they could take everything. Like you just are so done with the situation. Mine's is just the dentist. Good thing me and my woman's good. You know what I mean? But just think about what you could be doing to somebody else when you're not keeping your word and you're not consistent. It has impacts. Because when you say something to somebody, they expect you to come through. And over time, when you say something, it has less and less meaning. You know what I'm saying? And that's just crazy because it's just the dentist, but that just shows a core flaw in me that I needed to get better at, which is, first of all, putting the correct importance on taking care of myself, yes, but also organization. There's so many components to it, getting organized. A lot of times I had to cancel my appointment is because I forgot I had it and I've got something going on that day and now I got to adjust. I'm disorganized. You see what I'm saying? Another thing is you go get a little patchwork done. They clean it. You're feeling good. And now the urgency to stay on that path isn't there anymore. It could be the same way with weight loss. You look in the mirror, you're looking terrible. You're like, I want to lose 30 pounds. I'm overweight. You might go lose 10 pounds and it's like, oh, I look better than I was. And then you go right back to what you was doing and then you got to start all over. But it's being consistent, being accountable to yourself. Organization is so many things in that. But the way that they worded it, I could appreciate that.
Yeah, they kind of carried you though.
Did they?
But it's so professional.
It's so professional. Yeah. And when I called the lady before I had even seen this note, it wasn't nothing I could say. Like the decision was made.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, yo, think about it. You might come with all the I'm sorry's in the world, but sometimes when the decision has been made, it's been made. You know, you hurt your woman too long, for too much. It don't matter what you buy her, how many sorries you got, shit's done. Sometimes people, when they turn the page, they don't go backwards. You know what I'm saying? You could read a good book, and sometimes, for the most part, you can go back to chapter 2 and be like, oh, that was really good. I'll read it again. But for the most time, you don't. You go to chapter 3, and you go to chapter 4, and then that book's finished. You don't go backwards. And they weren't going backwards with me. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to taking care of my health, I have to learn my lesson. So I went to a new dentist.
And they actually provided the new dentist.
They provided the new dentist. I went to the new dentist. And guess what? Had about 7. I had about 7 cavities / potential cavities. And I had to get all these fillings. Actually 9, 7 on the right, 2 on the left. Not taking care of my teeth. So anyway, this new dentist, they sit me down to give me fillings. And this is the most challenging experience I'm ever been with at the dentist. They put so much medicine to numb my jaw and everything. I'm sitting there drooling on myself the whole time. And the first thing they do when they're doing fillings is like they start drilling. They just start drilling. I think they was drilling for a good 30 on my right. Drilling. They had the little rubber piece on my left side of my mouth, which helps you keep your mouth open. But for some reason, it was causing me so much pain the way they had it. So I told them, took it out. But anyway, the drilling. After about 15 minutes, I had to ask for a little break. They came back, drilling. And then they filled it or whatever. It was a good hour or so, but I left. My whole right half of my face was numb. My jaw was numb. I felt even the right side of my neck was numb. Like it was so numb. You know what I'm saying? And it was so painful. But after like a couple hours, it went away. And now I got to go back next week to get the other 2 done, but I know it's not going to be as bad because I got 7 done first. You know what I mean? But all of this could have been avoided by just sticking to what I was going to do a couple years ago. Because I went to the dentist and they was like, hey, we got to turn things around, come back in 3 months, got to fine scaling. Like they put me on a plan for success and I didn't do it. So everything that's happened to me, I earned. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I've been fired from the dentist, but now I'm on a new one. I'm going to learn from this lesson and I'm going to, put my efforts where my mouth is and be accountable to things and take better care of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
What else is going on with you, man? You know what I mean? I know you had some ups with your branding. I know you're very excited about that. What's going on?
I had a one-on-one with my branding coach, and that was yesterday. And I have a plan.
Can we get a little nugget?
And I'm gonna have a masterclass really soon.
Oh,
yeah. I don't want to say what it is yet because I'm developing it, but she's honed in on my strengths and is helping me come up with the offer.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Without you giving the details, because I know you don't want to do that.
Right. I will give them.
Why is it what when somebody hears you say I'm gonna do a master class? What makes it a master class? Like, what is a master class?
Good question. It's where you receive a lot of information about something. That's all right for you.
That's
I don't
good.
know. I don't know how long it is, but
it's really in depth. It ain't like overview. It's like really giving you like detailed skills, advice, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up.
Yeah. So I have my homework cut out and I'm going to figure out over these next couple of weeks exactly what I'm going to be teaching. Because I'm such a wealth of knowledge.
You are.
We have a business for businesses. We help people with their businesses. So I can go tax, I can go business, I can go accounting, I can go business to business, I can go business to consumer. Yeah. Oh, you want to have a business or you want a tax business. Like it's levels.
Hey, do you know, right? When you talk about the amount of experience, because time be flying by, each of us are either at about 20 years or close to 20 years experience in our industry. Think about it.
That's what I've been thinking about though. Right. Like
20.
Wait a minute. I've been doing accounting since before I graduated from college. So yeah.
It'd be crazy. And sometimes it takes you being around somebody that's less experienced. And that's been happening to me recently, like where I have like either lower level associates or whatever, like people that's right out of university and stuff like that. And to yourself, you're like, hey, I just came out of university the other day. Like, I feel like I'm the same guy. You ain't the same guy. You're not the same woman. You got to accept that. And you'll have somebody come around that's been where you've been, and you can identify it right away. Like, hold up, I'm not the same. I have so much more to offer. I have so much more experience than what you have. And you realize, like, dang, you're the person that people's now looking up to. And it happens real fast. You see what I'm saying? You're the person that, years ago, you was humble looking for an opportunity. It happens in a blink of an eye where you're the person that starts being able to give other people opportunities. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the switch for me too,
Mm-hmm.
because I think about it as like a revenue stream sometimes. Like, okay, I need to, like, I'm good at something and I can teach other people how to be good at it. Or I can teach other people how to be educated in this field. But I don't think about it from the other side of, well, what is this person actually getting? I have all these years of experience. Like, this person or this business will learn so much from you. Like, from their perspective, you are the answer to so many of their prayers,
right,
or so many of their problems. Like, you have it. So I've been shifting my mindset to what I can provide that person. Not like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right.
No, good.
But not like the burden is on me.
Right, right.
I'm trying to get it out, but people can benefit greatly, especially people who are serious. They can benefit so much, and I can help so many people. So I have to look at it as that instead of, and that takes the pressure off of me versus what can I sell?
Right.
What can I teach? Like, does that make sense?
It does.
All right, what am I saying?
That you have a bigger impact to people than just providing services.
Right.
That's what I hear. You got to provide you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm not doing it, what I mean?
I wasn't going to give up. I knew you could break it down for me.
I mean, I just gave you a one line. That's all. But that's what you're saying. And people got to realize that too. Like, you're more than the service that you give people. You're more than the product that you sell people. Every time somebody engages with you, there's an experience that you give them that only you can give, because everybody's unique. And I don't think a lot of us tap into that enough, which is like, me. What am I giving you that of me? You know what I'm saying? And when you start to really earn that and realize what makes you great, that can transfer into everything you're selling, everything that you're teaching, but it's you. And I think this, I don't want to cut you off, but what I'm saying, what I think is happening early with the branding that you're doing is that this person is going to allow you to realize your story, your uniqueness. Because the things that you do, there's other accounting businesses out there. There's other people that's doing podcasts. There's other people that whatever. You know what I'm saying? But there's something unique about you, unique about your story, unique about why you care so much about finances. And I don't think you tap into that enough.
I don't.
Not at all.
And that's what she's saying. And that's one of the things that I'm working on, my brand story. Not just, you do accounting, you do taxes, you can help people with payroll, but you're a wife, you're a mom of 4 children. It can't be easy for you. Oh, your son has special needs? That can't be easy for you. How are you able to run 2 businesses and run other people's businesses and run your household? Like, the whole story.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh.
No, I get the benefit because I know a lot. I don't know everything. I know we've been together a while. I don't know everything about you. You're a huge talker or not. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you, for example, with finances, I always let everybody know on the podcast that I trust you with all our finances. You know what I mean? I let people know that at Basden County, you're going to look through everything with a fine-tooth comb. When you're doing your taxes, you're going to find every dollar and every cent legally for people's refunds and tax situation. But I can say all of that, and I know how great you are because I also know the backstory about why money is so important to you and money management.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when I look at you and I see you moving money, I see you protecting certain things, I know the deepness of it, which is like a life of not having, a life of having to provide for yourself, being a single mother, having to be successful on your own, get internships on your own, take care of a child on your own. You see what I'm saying? Buy a condo early. You know what I mean? Have Christmases the way you did, where you might have had 1 or 2 things that was specifically there for you. And I come from a place where I'm used to getting 20, and like, everything matters. So I know how much it means to you. You see what I'm saying? So I know I can trust you with money, not just because you're good at making charts and all that. It's because I know, like, no, money management is like to the core of you as a person. And you got to get that out to people, because people will trust you so much more with their money when they know how important money management is to you and why. That's the difference. So I hope that she continues to bring that out of you. And the advice for y'all at home, like, why do you do what you do? You know what I'm saying? Why does it mean so much to you? That's important for your clients to know, because a lot of things with business is trust, expertise, relationship, communication. Why should your client pick you over somebody else? Why should they know that you're going to provide service in a different way, a different level of care than somebody else? They got to know a bit of your story. They got to know why you do this, why it's important. If not, if you're just providing a service and there's no deeper connection, as soon as the dollars ain't right, as soon as one thing goes wrong, the loyalty is gone and they'll just go get somebody else. And that's life. We're not going to be perfect with human beings. But that person that knows you, knows your story, knows why you're great, you get way more intangible support from that person. You make a little mistake, you forget a little, you had to change a meeting. Like, they're not just looking at you as a service provider where you got to be perfect, because nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I hope she continues to bring more of that out of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm learning that I'm so much bigger than what I do.
I know.
Like I'm starting to show a little bit more who I am. Mm-hmm. And I was scrolling through Instagram last night, just through some of my past posts.
Yeah.
And I like it. Like, I'm looking at some of the stuff that I used to post, because I used to post a whole bunch of family stuff. And I'm going to find a way to do both.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to see what she sees. And she's like, man, you are amazing. Like, you will attract so many people. You're going to be so big. I can see it for you. And I don't think that she's just saying it.
No. I mean, I like her business model because she's in it. She's truly in it with you, where like money you make, she will benefit from. So she has an incentive to push you. It's not like she's just saying, here's my program, pay me this money, and you go take it and try to execute it on your own. And she's already gotten everything. Like, no, there's more of a connection, which is like, if you're successful, she's successful. So she has an interest in you being successful. And I really like that. Yeah. And I like that business model.
There's something similar too, because just like how we don't work with everybody, she doesn't work with everybody.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I respect it.
But we can hear more about this masterclass. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking forward to our listeners just growing with me and seeing where I am right now in 2025, compared to where I'll be this time in 2026. Because I will have had some master classes, maybe had a book.
Yeah.
I'll have some things, tangible things, but then I'm looking forward to the impact and seeing how I can change people's lives. So making their businesses better, letting them know their numbers. I don't know. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited and scared too, but
that's good. That's good though. That means you care about it.
I'm stepping into a new season.
That I know. I'm here. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm here for it. I coach soccer. I tell the same thing to my players. It applies to us too. But having fear is not a bad thing. It just shows that you care about something. Now, you have to let that fear turn into focus. So you might be afraid. I'm afraid. I want this to go well. Or I'm going into a realm of the unknown. I haven't did this before. It's going to sometimes cause some anxiety. Like, it's going to cause you to be afraid or unsure, or whatever you want to call it. But you have to recognize that and turn that fear into focus, because for you to go somewhere that you've never been, you got to focus on some instructions, some guidance, some work that you never did. So take that fear, acknowledge it, but then turn that fear into focus. And that's what I tell my players, and it works. But acknowledge the fear. If you're not afraid a little bit, it may not mean enough to you. But you're like, I'm a little nervous. Like, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But let that turn into focus, and it'll be a big difference. You know what I mean? I hope you do that. One other thing this week, yo, ups and downs of life, talking about health, talking about all types of stuff. We'll talk to you about the decisions we've been making recently to focus on our future, and are we really prepared for life when we ain't here no more? And that's a really tough conversation. When you get to a certain age in your 30s and 40s, sometimes that's when you really start thinking about it. But do you got a will? Do you got enough money to retire? Do you got enough life insurance? Is your money going to make money for you? Are you going to have to sit there your whole life exchanging time for money? You know what I'm saying? You might be working construction now. You're 30 years old. You don't mind getting check after check, or you're a truck driver. Maybe you don't want to be a truck driver at 70 years old. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your back's going to be hurting doing construction in your 60s, whereas in your 20s it's fine. Like, you start thinking differently because you start realizing that the time resource is not forever. And you see that more and more as you get older. You look at your age, you look at what's happened to you, people that you lost, all types of stuff. Change your mindset towards time and the urgency of things. You know what I'm saying? So we're sitting here looking to get life insurance and looking at our investments and all of that stuff. And we signed up for some stuff. But this week, we had to go through the medical part of it. You know, we had to get blood work done. We had to do the urine analysis stuff and all of that. Let me tell you something real quick on this, yo. I want to reach the people that are really prioritizing their job and the impact sometimes of work to your diet and stress and all of that. But listen, man, I went to the doctor early January. My blood pressure was high. Here it is this week. When I went in January, my blood pressure was high. And they was like, look, I need you to come back in February. And if your blood pressure's high, they want to put me on medication. I ain't getting on the medication. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I've been here before. Let me get my diet right, whatever. So for the last, whatever weeks, I've been really pushing on my working out and taking better care of myself. But something I realized this week, when I got my blood pressure reading this week, it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. It was like 120/79. And I'm sitting here like, man, just 4 weeks ago, this thing was like 140 something. What's the difference? Yes, I'm had a couple good weeks of being hard on my workout and stuff, but I don't know if that's it on its own. But I said, what was going on in early January? I was mad busy, stressed. We talked about on the last episode, lost my dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here like, yo, stress, the body don't like stress. You know what I'm saying? Stress management is so important. And I'm like, a month ago, I was working late, got all types of work emergencies going on, probably not eating as good as I should as a result of it. My dog gets sick. Like all this stuff is happening. And I'm like, how much of that blood pressure reading? Stress. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting, and the difference is when I got my blood work and stuff done this week, I wasn't stressed. I'm in a good place with work. I'm ahead of schedule now. It's a whole different situation. I actually got it done on a day that I didn't have much work to do. That probably has something to do with it. And now I'm even more aware, like, you know what? I need to really push for my goals so I could be successful, but also manage stress levels, because that's clearly an impact to me. And I want y'all to know out there, like, and this happened with our dog, like out of nowhere, he was sick. That could happen to anybody. Sometimes the body doesn't even show signs of what's going on until it's very late in the situation. But that stress that you're going through, working crazy hours, working 2-3 jobs, trying to make ends meet, sitting here, got all of these clients and deadline, like that's all part of life. But stress management is important. You got to find something, and also sometimes somebody that can help you identify when your stress levels might be a little too high. You know what I'm saying? Because it does have an impact on the body. And it just really caught my eye. I'm like, that's probably what was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But make note of how you reversed it.
Right.
Within 4 weeks' time.
I know.
So you were getting ready to go on medication potentially. And then 4 weeks later, you good.
Yeah. But I gotta do what's working.
You gotta keep it.
I gotta keep it.
Yeah. Consistency.
So, consistency. I gotta not do the dentist situation.
Yeah. But you look great, by the way.
I appreciate it. You look good too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Somebody told me I look good the other day. Look. Okay.
Well, you do.
I appreciate it. It's all good. People tell you look good all the day, especially when you're doing your customer service. Hey, look. Yo, listen. Randi be on the customer service, you know what I mean, supporting clients. I just be looking over because I feel like she's getting a new man right in front of me. I swear to God, yo. I'll be sitting there like, is she doing business or is she like linking up with somebody? Because it's just the way she be doing it. She like, I hope you have a good day. Did I answer all of your questions? Oh, one more thing. I'm like, hang up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, but that's something that I'm passionate about.
No, it's cool.
If you think about it, I love great customer service.
I know.
And I'm passionate
I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell, bro. I'm just sitting there. I'm sitting there trying to work. And I'm like, who the hell is she keying with? Like, yeah, ain't you talking about taxes? It ain't nothing funny about taxes. Like, it's not funny. But Randy's sitting there, you sure you don't have any other questions? Especially when she hits you with this. She's like, well, you're in great hands. I'm an enrolled agent. I'm the highest credential at the IRS. So I can help you with your need.
And not only am I an enrolled agent, I'm also an accountant.
I'm also an accountant. All of that. I'm also an accountant. You are in good hands. So just let me know what's going on. I'll scratch your back for you. Like, it's just like, come on, bro. But that's what makes you great. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But all jokes aside, that's what makes you great.
Well, you want to put the client at ease.
Of course. I wouldn't want you to be no different.
Right. I will tell you to open up to somebody and talk about your business and your taxes and how much money you make and your husband's problems and why he can't get his life together when it comes to the business. And it's a lot.
Mm-hmm. People don't realize that. We be like consulars for people.
Yes, but I have to reassure you, hey, listen, I've seen this before. You are not unordinary. Like this is common. There's so many couples that's not on the same pages with finances. And I'm so thankful that the Lord has led you to me.
Hey, so
because I can help you.
Y'all hear how our voice changed? Y'all heard it, right? Y'all heard it. Look, you see how our voice changed?
No, I don't talk like that.
Look, we've been pouring for like 45 minutes. She ain't said a word to me in that voice yet. But all of a sudden, you see the energy just switch. You know what I mean? But it's all good.
I get it. You want me to talk to you like that.
No, it's all right. I'm not one of your clients.
No.
Stop it.
It's okay. No, I'll be more intentional.
It's okay.
But we have to put ourselves in situations.
I know. I need to call you for tax advice. I need to call you and say, hey, this is John. My wife took all my money. I gotta put myself in the mix. That's all. And then I get it. You know what I mean?
You are something else.
Am I? Mm-hmm. That's all right.
As moms would say, you're a piece of work.
I'm a piece of work? Mm-hmm. All right. I'll take that. The dentist thinks I am. The dentist is like, yeah, here's a real piece of work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I don't even want the money. Just get rid of him.
I know.
Y'all can have Mr. Basden. Yeah, let me refer you out.
Hey, so what happens when I go buy my cereal and I see him in the grocery store or something random? Do I just say,
of course. It's just business.
Yeah.
It ain't personal.
They'll probably be like, hey, how's your teeth? I'd be like, I'm good. No thanks to you. No.
But you like your new dentist. And it was necessary in order for you to go to the dentist because you probably would have stood him up again.
I probably would have.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to put people in their place for them their behaviors to change.
Yeah.
Because if they would have just said, oh, yeah, you could come in now, what would have made me be different?
Exactly.
The fact that they cut the cord with me is so impactful, and surprising that I wouldn't want that to happen again. So sometimes you got to feel it. And I felt it. We read it. We felt it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, another thing that's going on with us, man. This podcast, as we talk about the ups and downs of life, this is really specific to young and middle-aged adults. And there's people that are really going through life, making really tough decisions, trying to get the business to the next level, the personal life to the next level, to figuring out relationships. You're going through those growing years of your life. And that's who this podcast is really for, because there's a lot of responsibility on you. And there's truly a lot of ups and downs as you're going through your young adulthood and being middle-aged before you get to that retirement age and you're kind of set in what you've done already, you know? And one of those big decisions that you want to make is, where am I going to live? Where do I want to raise my family, my kids? You know, where do I want to come home every night? You know, me and Randi, we want to transition a little bit and talk to you guys about how you make your decisions when it comes to purchasing a home or anything big in your life. But our example for right now is purchasing a home. You know, a little bit of background, I'll tell you real quick, is the current house that we live in, for us, it was an investment. We looked at the house. It was in a really, really good community, really, really good school system, very close to a good shopping area. We knew that the property value was only going to increase over time. So we made an investment together. This is the first house that we bought together, you know? And here it is, years later. I would say that expectation has come true, right? Mm-hmm. We got a great property, great equity in the property, worth a bit more than what we bought it for. All of those things. And the areas around us has continued to get better, new stores, more houses, everything that we thought was going to happen.
Desirable.
It's very desirable, right? So what does that mean? It's a great asset in our lives, right? But Randi got a call recently from somebody that had an opportunity for us. I'm going to let Randi tell you about how it came about, because it's very hard for us, and we're going to let y'all know how we went through the decisions to end up where we are. But Randy, I'm going to let you tell them all about how it started, what we've been doing when it comes to this new house opportunity.
If you've been listening to this show for a while, you know that I've been talking about a new home probably since we first started. But I think a lot more recently. And there's this home about 15 minutes away. It's a new community and they have model homes. And I have been going to this model home, taking people to the model home for, I would say, at least a year now. And in my mind, I'm serious. Don't know how I'm going to afford it, but I've been serious. I've been praying, but I haven't just been praying for that model home in particular. I've just been praying that the Lord will provide us with the right house, the right amount of space, because we're outgrowing this house. So anyway, I've been to this model home a lot of times now, probably 10. And they have our information on record. And we sat down and talked and I'm talking about the time that we went before this time that we just went the other day. But we talked and we had somebody with us, which was your grandfather, and he was considering moving to America. And we were like, oh, this house will be perfect because it has the in-law suite. So we were talking from that perspective.
Right.
And it actually became like a potential, like, oh, well, hold on. If granddaddy comes and he stays with us, then that takes a lot of the financial burden off of us. Okay. So anyway, I don't think that that's on the table anymore. Things have changed. So I've been thinking about the new home, but not like that.
Yeah.
So I received a phone call from a realtor who works at the construction site, the new homes. And she was saying, Miranda, I was looking through your records and I see that you're looking for this style home, this model, and you were looking for, what was it? What was special about the lot? It needed to face the woods.
Yeah.
The back of the house needed to face the woods. I didn't want the back of the house to face the backyard of another house. So this lot just came available. And I was like, well, I'm not really on the market. And she was saying that they're offering all this money towards closing, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, you know what? Let me just take a look and see.
Yeah.
So Dexter and I, we walk the model again, and we really sit down with her. We bought our realtor with us. Shout out to Mariah Clark with Sampson Properties.
Yeah.
So we sat down and we ran the numbers, and we could do it. The house is perfect. It meets all of our needs. Maybe not all of our wants. There's no pool in the backyard, but all of our needs. We can have room for offices, podcast studio. Our son with special needs could have the whole trampoline in his room. So he has some sensory items that sit in the living room because he shares a room with his brother. So it's like I said, we're outgrowing the house. So, but it meets everybody's needs pretty much. And we sat down, ran through the numbers and thought, you know what? We might be actually able to do this. So where should I go from there?
So I'll put it like this, right? Like Randy said, we've been basically dating this house for a year. She gets this call and there's a potential that we might be able to do it. But the one thing that's very, very important is when you could potentially do something, does that mean you could actually do it? And what is it going to take for you to make it happen? So we really sat down and started going through the numbers together after that to say, well, if we were going to afford this, right? So you make decisions. Sometimes you make them financially, logically, emotionally, but something like purchasing a home like this, we have to make sure that logically and financially it makes sense, as well as considering the emotional aspect of it, right? So yes, we got a son with special needs. He needs his own place. Yes, we're outgrowing the current house that we have. Yes, this house emotionally feels so perfect for us and we absolutely love it, which is why we've been back 10, 12 times between us, taking a family member there. We really, really want it. The other thing is that you mentioned was that I don't know if you mentioned it, but not only was the house available, but we went to see the lot. We went to see the land itself, walked the land that the house would be on. Everything felt right.
I felt so much peace.
Yes, it felt so right. You was thinking the Lord was telling us to buy it because everything felt right. And y'all probably are sitting there with certain decisions in your life and, man, it feels right. It feels right. I can feel myself in this house. I'm happy when I'm here. I'm walking the land and it feels like it's mine. Like it felt so good. But then we have to go down and really go through it and say, can we make this decision or not?
Run them numbers.
So we start running the numbers, right? And this is the advice I want to have for y'all. our podcast is real about the ups and downs of life. So everything that's good has a bad side to it. That is everything. Everything that is good can be bad, and sometimes what's bad can be turned for good. That's just how life goes. We live in an imperfect world with sin in it, and that's why we need God to help get us through it. But there's nothing that is just great on its own. There's always some potential bad side to it with every single thing that you do. You know, you have to always be aware of that. So when you're making decisions, if you're only sitting there thinking about the good side of it, you're not having an all-encompassing view of everything. You know what I'm saying? That's just life. That's just facts. You have to look at the potential bad, even if it's not real right in front of you, right? So we're sitting there, we're looking at it, and we're like, okay, there's 3 steps that we need to be able to do for this house. We need to be able to get an earnest money, I believe, deposit of a certain amount. Mm-hmm. Then we need a certain amount to be able to close, right? Cash to close. And then we got to be able to afford the mortgage afterwards. But I
love those 3 steps.
Yeah. The first step, the earnest deposit, we looked at each other and we're like, we could take care of that. We're good on step 1. All right. Step 2, it starts getting yellowy orange. We're like, well, how do we get the rest of this money to move in? But then we say, you know, with some significant changes, we might potentially do step 2.
Yeah, liquidate our whole life.
Right. And then then we look at step 3 and we're like, dang, this is the kind of mortgage we're going to have all the time. So some things became real to us for us to make it work. If we wanted a mortgage that wasn't just way too high, the first thing that came in question that was going to be material or significantly impact that was selling our current house. Think about what we told you a little while ago. We had a dream, we had a vision for this house as an investment when we first bought it. And we mentioned to you that expectation for it to be a good investment has come true. It's a valuable asset. You know, it's at an interest rate that we could probably never get a house at again in our entire life. We have equity in the house. We're in a good area. It continues to thrive, this area, like it's an asset.
Can I say something too? And I've talked about this before, but when it came to refinancing, we took it from a 30-year loan to a 20-year loan. Mm-hmm. And that will let you know right there the type of asset that it is as well, because it has equity, it has a low interest rate. And just if you're out there and you're thinking about refinancing, I know interest rates might be high, but that's something that you might want to consider as well, because this home is actually a part of our retirement plan. Mm-hmm. So now we have about 16 years left on the mortgage. So when we retire, we'll be completely paid off. Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully we can retire less.
I was about to say, I was thinking 16. I want,
but I'm just saying. So even when it comes to making a decision about the new home, you're talking about financing a home at a high mortgage for 30 years. Mm-hmm. That puts us in our 70s.
Right.
So, anyway.
No, but that's a good point, because we're taking something that doesn't have any of those considerations and is actually a really good asset at 20 years. And we will be selling it to go and basically take an asset away to pay for a longer period in a bigger house that feels good and feels perfect. Yes. But why would we want to sacrifice our current house to do that? We started thinking like, we don't want to sell this house.
We took that off the table.
We took that off the table. The other thing we realized, like, okay, our kids are in private school. We can save a lot of money by taking them out of private school. But then you have to get out of the feeling, you have to get out of the tree view, go back to the forest view and say, well, why did I make these initial decisions that I made? Sometimes we go along this journey and something is new and shiny and it feels so good that you're willing to sacrifice things that meant so much to you when you made those initial decisions. You forget. You got caught up in the moment, but we had to realize, like, why did it mean so much for us to put our kids in private school? Nothing against the public school system, but we're Christians. We have our kids in a Christian school, and it means a lot to us. And we've loved this school and the kids that we have and how they're growing up. We are very happy with it. So that is not a current problem in our life. It's something that's working that we don't, when it's not broke, you may not need to fix anything. It's not broke. So we love this school. We love the fact that they're in private school. It's expensive, but all this time, we never made the decision to pull them out for anything, ever. Should we pull our kids out of private school to get a bigger house? Maybe, maybe not. But we said it means too much to us, so we took that off the table. We started thinking about somebody living with us. and being able to help contribute to a mortgage. Like we really thought about possibilities.
Really down and went through this over the course of a few days.
Yes. So, we didn't make the decision right away like some of y'all do. It feels so good, you just got to go have it. But then we started thinking like, if we got to have somebody live with us to do it, and you said it perfect.
We can't afford it.
We can't afford it. Almost like going to the mall around Christmas time and, and I did it. So, but credit card purchases, I pissed Randi off buying credit card stuff around Christmas time. But that's because I didn't have as much money as I wanted for Christmas gifts. So that shouldn't have happened. But if you have to buy it on credit, you probably don't have it. If you have to sit there and say, hey, so come live with me and get a bedroom to help me with the mortgage, well, you probably you can't really afford it. You know what I'm saying? And I started looking at Randi and we made a tough decision like, we can't do this right now. And it hurts so much admitting it because we wanted it so bad. But we looked at it and we're like, we have to tell ourselves no right now. Y'all at home, if you're listening to this, it's okay to tell yourself no because you're not really just telling yourself no. You're telling yourself what?
Not now.
Not now. That's why we have God in our lives, because always remember that you might see something right in your face that you think you have to have right now, but it's okay to tell yourself not now and trust that something better is coming at the right time, at the right moment. That's for you. So we told ourselves not now. Randi had tears in her eyes. She was real upset about it. I hope you don't mind me putting that out there because we want this so bad. But there's certain jams in our life that mean more to us than a house. That's our kids. That's our kids' education, how they're growing up. That's the asset and investment that we made when we was younger. That's now part of our retirement plan. Like these things mean more than this huge big house. Like we want everything. We want both. And that's okay. We're going to wait. And we're going to keep working towards it, build our podcast, build our business even more. But we don't have to rip our life apart to go get something new. We're going to trust that God's going to allow it all to come together at the right time. So y'all at home, if you're sitting here thinking about making big investments or decisions in your life, think through everything financially, logically, and emotionally. Let the emotions parts come in and look at everything. And if you go through the steps, I promise you'll end up making the right decision. And last but not least, just like with me and Randi, if you feel it on the inside and you're not at peace 100%, listen to that voice. All right. Trust the Lord. We have guardian angels in our lives. And sometimes it's just a little bit of a whisper that's telling you this isn't right now. Don't let your mind, don't let your greed, don't let your human nature and all that crap, don't let that make you make that decision that you had that small voice telling you not right now. Because something is coming just for you. All right. If y'all enjoyed this podcast, make sure you follow us, The Dax and Randi Show. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on TikTok. You can follow us on all platforms that have podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We just dropped our first episode video on YouTube, so you can follow us on YouTube. And come join our community, man. We just be real about the ups and downs of life. We give you a lot of advice. We have so much to give for y'all, and we want to learn from y'all too. And we're here for each other to get through life together. Randi, I enjoyed this episode with you, man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Till next time, make sure you like and follow us, all right? We're growing this community. We're here for y'all. We love y'all. Peace.